Welcome to another edition of the KATcast. I'm Aaron Hart along with Kevin Hilly and Jordan J. And today we're discussing different ways you have spoiled something for your significant other. I did a doozy last night. So we were watching the Chiefs game. And we all know that the Chiefs game was a big nail biter. It was back and forth between them and the Bengals. I mean, they never really had a very solid, steady lead,
right?
So we're getting down to like mere seconds. I want to say it was like 18 seconds or 28 seconds left. So they call a timeout. So I'm sitting there scrolling on Facebook, and I see one of our mutual friends. He had posted Chiefs win, and I'm like, well, that's a little premature, because what if Butker misses the field goal?
Right.
I mean, I had faith in him, but what if?
Yeah.
So then I scroll down a little bit more. And I see that there's an official, announcement from the Chiefs with this beautiful graphic and how they won and la la la. And I turn to the husband and I go, "Oh wow, look!" I go, either they're super confident about this field goal, and he goes, "Oh my God!" He goes, "We're streaming this. We're a couple minutes behind. You just ruined the game for me."
That's classic.
Sorry,
that is
my bad.
See, that's the danger, though. If you're streaming,
even think about
a lot of them are delayed depending on what you're using. What were you watching it on?
On Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus. Okay, I don't know what their delay is, but apparently it's some because. I mean, I stream some stuff on on a site that I know. I pay like $10 a month. I have every channel on there. It's called StreamWink. If you're interested. And but I don't know. I don't think it's like a 2-minute delay. I mean, it might be maybe 30 seconds,
like a couple seconds or something
maybe
like
it wasn't that long. But I mean, I'm just saying. I saw the first one, and it was from a mutual friend of all of ours, and I thought, "Ooh,
yeah,
oh boy, jumped the gun a little bit on that one." I mean, we don't know how this is going to go. We're hoping it's going to go that way.
So from now on, the husband's going to be like, "I'm not watching any more games with you."
Until we went to bed, I'd be like, "Hey, do you want?" "No, you'll just ruin it for me." And I'm
just ruin it.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know, if you listen to 94.3 Cat Country on the app, it's delayed. So
just a smidge.
Just a smidge, like a minute or something like that.
Don't start laughing prematurely at something because
it's okay.
You don't want to spoil it for anybody. You know what I mean?
I got thinking about this, and I think so. My mom's probably like the worst offender of this. So I've definitely done this to people too, but. My mom is terrible. So any kind of movie that we're watching or anything like that, and she doesn't think like, oh, maybe they haven't seen this yet. Right. My mom will literally look to me thinking that I've seen every movie, and she's like, "Is this the one where the chick dies?" And I'm like. Thanks for ruining it for me. You know what I mean? Like she'll do that. Like she always feels like a key moment. She goes, "Oh, this is the one where the dad was involved, wasn't it?" And I'm like, "I don't know, Mom.
Why should I even
We're
bother
20
watching?
minutes into it." It's like that's what she would do all the time. So like she's the worst offender of like any kind of movie that you like. Make sure you don't watch movies around my mom. She will spoil it for you.
She will ruin it for everybody.
Immediately.
Earlier this year, we were watching Call of the Wild, the Harrison Ford one.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
It's like a lot of CGI in there and all, right? But my oldest grandson, he's like, we're like, "Hey, you want to watch a movie? Call of the Wild." Okay. Of course, I didn't realize he had already seen it like 15 times or whatever. They like that movie. So we're sitting there, and I go, "Oh, that poor dog." He goes, "It's okay. He gets away." I go, "What?" And then he goes, later on in the movie, he goes, "Oh, yeah, he becomes his boss. He becomes his master." I go, "Why am I even bothering watching this if you're telling me? Don't tell me. I want to be surprised."
Why am I watching this with you?
He doesn't understand the concept of spoilers. You know what I mean?
I know. Neither do my son's the same way. Would be, I haven't seen this one yet. And then he goes, "Neither have I." And then as we're watching it, all of a sudden he starts explaining things that like a minute before they happen. I'm like, "I thought you said you haven't seen this movie." He goes, "I have." And I'm like, "You just wanted to watch it again." Right?
Well, yeah.
"Daddy, watch this part. This is the scary part." I'm like, well, thanks.
Although while we're on the subject of spoilers, what is the rule on a spoiler? If a movie is 20 years old or 10 years old, I mean, am I allowed to say here that Han Solo dies in
I would say, listen.
I give people about 3 months. That's 90 days to get off your hiney and get to a movie theater
I would be in trouble
or
then.
rent it or whatever. and then call it a day.
Because at that point, it has to be on DVD
it's
right
all
now.
over social media. It's in magazines. It's on, TV shows. There's not a lot left to spoil.
I'm waiting to see a message on here. It's like, I can't believe you spoiled Star Wars for me. I didn't know Han Solo dies. Sorry.
The movie's been out for years.
What, 5 years now or something like that?
At least.
I don't know,
Oh, my gosh. So, yeah, well, so we've been nominated for a CMA award. Hilly and I have.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, and we're super jazzed about it. We're psyched.
Matter of fact, here it is right here. No, I'm kidding.
That was awesome. So the husband came home the other day. He goes, hey, I told work that I want to go when you go. And I said, oh, okay, because he never goes to things like that with me,
You know something we don't?
No, he just thinks it would be cool.
Yeah.
And I go, okay. I go, well, I said, I know that Hilly and I, we each get, 2 tickets. I said, so no problem there. I go, but we'll need to book your airfare. And I said, surely you can just stay in my room. Not a big deal there. And he's like, whoa. Why do we have to book my airfare? I go, what do you think's happening?
Where do you think this is?
He goes, well, I mean, like the CMAs, they just like send you, right? And I go, no. CMAs are nice enough to give us each 2 tickets.
Right.
I go,
right.
Work would send Hilly and I if we win.
Right.
I go.
And I'm not promising to sending you.
Right. I go, they're not going
or
to send
Kevin's
you.
wife for that matter.
I go, you're not on the payroll. They're
Right.
not going to just be like, oh, we're going to send the husband as well. I go, so we would have to.
Well, wasn't that generous of them?
I go, I would need to pay, for your plane ticket and stuff. And he's like, oh, never mind. And like,
I didn't want to go that
he was all mopey
bad.
about it. And I was like,
Mopey.
how did you think this worked? I mean, like the spirit's willing. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's a huge accomplishment in my career if it happens. And wow, of course I want to share that with you. However, we got to pay for you to go, buddy.
You know what's funny is if we do, okay, so right now, as Aaron said, we're nominated right now. We have no idea what's going to happen in terms of, and they're supposed to, all right, this is a little inside baseball. They're supposed to, if we win, they're going to let us know, obviously, before the
Later,
event, which is like November 20th. That's when the big ceremony is. Okay,
and I believe we would find out sometime in October,
right?
End of October.
So I would imagine it's their plan that we don't tell anyone. Be quiet. You know what? That's the worst thing to tell me, man. It's like because I'm going to be like, I'm going to go to my wife and go, we won. Like I don't know how to keep that in if we're supposed to keep that quiet.
I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
You mean I'd have to keep a secret? I got to keep a secret for a whole month?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's terrible. Aaron can't keep secrets.
It's like all these game shows are the same thing, like Survivor and everything. Those things are filmed months in advance. And they already know the winner. So that whoever it was won has to go back to Dubuque, Iowa or whatever.
Aaron, by the way, is the worst liar. Like, she cannot. Like, if she has any sort of pressure on her to not lie, like seriously, it's as bad as she's like, bananas! Like, she's trying to say anything to not say, like, to try to just get so off field.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, the husband, I will be talking about something, and he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. And he's like, no. Your face says otherwise. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, You could never play poker.
Yeah, Aaron, no poker face.
If you're a fan of The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon is like that. He can't keep a secret. Penny told him, blah, 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 about Leonard. She goes, but you can't ever tell him. He goes, what? Why didn't you tell me that before you told me the secret? Because asking him for a secret ipso post, whatever, he's used some term. He goes, that's not acceptable. He says, you need to release me from my oath. Like later on.
Well, I don't know, because my best friend got engaged a couple weekends ago. Well, I knew it was going to happen because I helped pick out the ring. I went with her fiance and helped pick out the ring months ago. Ha! I did keep a secret.
How about that?
Everything's coming up Aaron today.
She's getting better. Secrets are the hardest thing.
The one secret I've kept my life. No, it's just kidding.
You got to start somewhere.
This is day one, okay? Here we go. So, have you ever spoiled something for some? See, we've been married 35 years, my wife and I, and it's like she's had a life of disappointment with me, okay? So, I've spoiled things, or not so much giving away secrets, but just she wanted to do something or go somewhere or do and we didn't, or she had hoped that I would do something and I didn't, or, and every day it's like, I thought you were going to blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Okay, I'll get to that. And then I say, I'll get to that.
No,
and I
that's
never.
just selective husband memory, because I have the same issue at home. Hey, I thought we were going to, finish this flooring. Hey, I thought we were going to clean out that back room. Hey, I thought we were going to, get that garage. And I say we being kind. It's not my mess. It's not my junk. I mean, I would go out there and shovel it myself.
Right,
but
right.
I don't know what he truly wants to get rid of and what we were going to put just in the attic or wherever it needs to be. I don't know where things belong. Otherwise, this would have been taken care of eons ago.
We have a couple of guest rooms that need work, and I paint. One has already been painted and spackled and ready to go. The other one still needed to be spackled, and I had said to her, "We got to get this done." Anyway, Saturday, on my own, I said, we were watching TV. I go, "Okay, well, I'm going to go start spackling that room." She goes, "What?
Did she
really?
have a heart attack?"
Like, I know. For a second, I thought I was going to have to dial 911, but I did it on my own, and I got it done, and so it's all spackled now. So.
Okay.
Point for Kevin.
All right. We'll give you that point. Now, where I really shine in disappointing the husband is Christmas. I, like Jordan mentioned, I can't keep a secret. So I will go and buy things and then literally come home and be like, hey.
Oh, my God.
Hey, I just got your Christmas. Do you want to know what it is?
Do you want it now?
Like somehow you feel that if he gives you permission, then
it's okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I don't want it. I'm like, oh, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want it now? You should see it. It's really neat.
Oh.
Are you sure? Last chance. Do you want to see it? Usually he gives in. So then I get, but then, it kind of blows up in my face because then come Christmas morning,
right.
I'm kind of like, oh, well, you had stuff.
I've never gotten that whole thing about not wanting to be surprised.
Yeah.
Like, I love being surprised.
Me too.
And I'll tell you, our kids, especially our middle one, when they were all little, Nicole, our middle one, she used to take her sister and her brother sometimes, because she knew where we would hide things. Like it's under something stupid, like under the bed. Like they're not going to think of that or whatever. But she knew where, so they would go in and they were all wrapped. She would very gently unwrap them.
Oh, that's an old Aaron Hart trick.
Show everybody look what we got. Wrap it back up perfectly. And then, so we had to come up
Peel the corners back.
Right.
Oh, I see what it is.
I had to come up with some very creative ways to hide things. I got to the point where I was bringing our wrapped presents to work. They were sitting in an office and work, so she didn't have access to them.
You know what? And this is totally off topic of this one, but have you ever hid something so well that you forgot where you placed it? I've done that before. Where I'm like, you're start to count the gifts. You're like, I missed one
missing.
somewhere.
Do you ever find it? Is it years later? Is it months later?
I found a Christmas gift 3 years ago that I was like, oh, this never made it.
Oh, and if you were a kid, you gotta hope that they're not too old to not
And now the
like
kid's
it
in high
anymore.
school. It's too late.
You take this little learner's piano and you like it, mister. I don't care if you're 16.
Oh, well, a birthday gift for someone at some point.
KATcountry@mailzimmer.com. That's where you can fill us in on your disappointing moments. Have you been disappointed? Have you disappointed someone? Have you spoiled something for someone?
I didn't know that we were talking about when we were disappointed.
Well, sure.
I mean,
share your disappointment, Aaron. When were you disappointed? And don't you dare say when you started working with Kevin again.
I was going to say, what time did you roll in here?
Every day.
5 this morning?
Every day.
5:15 this morning.
That's when my disappointment began.
Yeah, but we want to know when you've somehow disappointed somebody, in your family or your significant other, whatever the case may be.
Spoiled something, whatever.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Surely it's not as bad as when I ruined the Chiefs game this past Sunday. Pretty sure the husband's not going to watch football with me ever again. But does he want to know what he got for Christmas?
Oh, my God. Hey,
Find out next.
If you haven't already, will you subscribe to the KATcast here?
Absolutely.
Just click wherever you find, I don't know, whatever format or whatever platform you're watching on. I don't know where the subscribe button is.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be right here. It could
It's
be here.
somewhere.
It could be somewhere
It's
in
somewhere
there.
around here.
Somewhere in this general area.
Right. Find the subscribe button. Please subscribe, okay? I hate to resort to begging, but I will beg. Please subscribe.
Subscribe so we can stop hearing that.
Exactly. See what he's saying? That's exactly right. And thanks for joining us. That is another edition of the Cat Country KATcast.